Today we will be solving two very nice problems related to uniform circular motion. Before we move ahead with solving the problems, I assume you know the basics of uniform circular motion, like angular velocity, centripetal acceleration, and the relation between linear and angular quantities. And if not, then I have already made a detailed video on the same. The link is in the description. Go and watch that first. The first problem is the conical pendulum, where a small particle of mass m is attached to one end of a light and inextensible string of length L, and the other end of the string is fixed to a rigid support. The particle is made to move in a horizontal circle with uniform speed, such that the string always makes a constant angle theta with the vertical, forming the shape of a cone. Our job is to find the speed and acceleration of this mass using the given parameters and the acceleration due to gravity g, assuming the motion is uniform and air resistance is negligible. Let us now solve this step by step. The mass m is moving in a horizontal circular path, but the string itself is not horizontal. Instead, the string is inclined and makes a constant angle theta with the vertical, forming a cone as the mass goes around. This means even though the mass is moving in a circle, its height remains the same throughout the motion, which immediately tells us something very important, that there is no vertical acceleration as there is no motion in the vertical direction. Now think about the forces acting on the mass by drawing an FBD of this mass. There are only two forces. One is the weight of the mass acting vertically downward, which is equal to mass m multiplied by acceleration due to gravity g. The second force is the tension in the string, which always acts along the direction of the string and tries to pull this mass toward the point of suspension. Let us call this tension T. Since the string is inclined, this tension force can be split into two parts, one vertical component and one horizontal component. The vertical component of tension acts upward, while the horizontal component acts toward the center of the circular path. Since the mass is not moving up or down, or we have no vertical acceleration, the vertical forces must balance each other perfectly. This means the upward vertical component of tension exactly balances the downward weight. The vertical component of tension is given by T cos of theta, and this balances mass m times g. Now try to understand its motion in the horizontal direction. The mass is moving in a circle, so it must have centripetal acceleration, a directed toward the center of the circle. The only force providing this inward acceleration is the horizontal component of the tension in the string. This horizontal component force is tension T, multiplied by the sine of theta, and using Newton's second law, it must be equal to mass m times centripetal acceleration a. So now we have two equations and two unknowns, t and a, which we can solve easily. Divide both of these equations to get this. T and m are cancelled, and we are left with this. Sine over cos is tan theta, and it equals a over g. So a equals g times tan of theta. Now, as we know that this motion is a uniform circular motion, so we do not have any tangential acceleration acting on this mass, and the only acceleration that acts on it is the centripetal. So we are done finding the total acceleration of this mass. Its magnitude depends on gravity and the angle theta, and interestingly, it does not depend directly on the mass m. This shows that heavier and lighter masses behave in exactly the same way in a conical pendulum, as long as the length and angle are the same. Now let us calculate the speed of this mass, which we will label as v. This centripetal acceleration a depends on the square of the speed v and the radius of the circular path r using this formula. Take this r here and then take the square root on both sides to get v as the square root of a times r. So, to find this v, we will now have to calculate the radius of the horizontal circle r. From the geometry of the cone, the radius r is the horizontal projection of the string, or this length, which is the length L of the string multiplied by the sine of angle theta. Substitute both a and r here to get v as square root of g tan theta times L sine theta, and that's it. The speed depends on the length L, gravity g, and the angle theta, and it turns out that the speed increases as the angle increases. This makes sense physically, because a larger angle means a larger circular path and stronger inward force requirement. Amazing! Now let us move on to our second problem. We have a small mass, m1, called a puck, is placed on a horizontal frictionless table and is attached to a light, inextensible string. The puck moves in a horizontal circular path of radius r on the table, while the other end of the string passes vertically through a small hole in the table and has another mass, m2, attached to it, hanging freely below like this. The main thing to note is that the hanging mass remains at rest in equilibrium while the puck continues its uniform circular motion. Using this setup, our task is to find the tension in the string, the radial force acting on the puck, and the speed of the puck, all expressed in terms of the given variables and the acceleration due to gravity g. So, can you solve it? Let us now solve this problem step by step by carefully understanding the physics involved. First, focus on the hanging mass m2. This mass is not moving up or down as it is in equilibrium. Because of this, the forces acting on m2 must balance each other. Let T be the tension in the string. The downward force on m2 is its weight due to gravity, and the upward force is the tension T in the string. Since the mass is at rest, the tension T must be exactly equal to the m2 times g. Now, let us shift our attention to the puck of mass m1 moving on the frictionless table. Since the table is frictionless, there is no force opposing the motion along the surface. The puck moves uniformly in a horizontal circle, which means its speed remains constant, but it must have a radial or centripetal force acting toward the center of the circle. In this setup, the only force that can provide this inward pull is the tension T in the string. Therefore, the radial force, which we will call F acting on the puck, is equal to the tension T in the string. The same tension T will act here because the string is light and inextensible, so it transmits the same pulling force throughout its length without any loss. Next, using Newton's second law of motion, this radial force, or tension T, is equal to mass of the puck m1 times centripetal acceleration a, which is also equal to v square over r, where v is the speed of the puck, so we get v square equals tr over m1. Substitute the value of tension T here to get this. This allows us to express the speed v of the puck purely in terms of m1, m2, the radius r, and gravity g. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, you can support my channel by joining our community and becoming a member. So good.